driver of the number 11 FedEx Office Toyota. Great run for you out there. Talk a little bit about your lap.
Yeah, it definitely was exciting to get a pole here, and for us, I didn't think it was a pole winning lap when I ran it. That's why I ran a second lap, is to try to improve it. But definitely Darian's working up some magic, and obviously our qualifying's working a lot better this year, and that's one thing that we definitely improved on this year, and it's helped with our results. So starting from the pole will obviously be a huge advantage for us come Sunday.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for questioning. If you have a question for Denny, please raise your hand. Say your name and affiliation. Okay. Mark. There we go.
Steve Richards with PRN. Denny, just wondering how your car is in race trim. How do you feel, what your chances are tomorrow?
I thought that we were a top 5 car, but not the best car, which is still an improvement on how we've been here in the past in practice. I thought that our teammate, the 18, had the best car, and we were just a hair behind that. So, it's tough to say. I think that my biggest struggles here in the past has been passing. Once I typically qualify not that great, I have a tough time getting around cars. So starting from the pole, hopefully that will at least get us some bonus points and help us with tuning our car throughout the day, because obviously track position here is going to be very, very crucial, and we've got to do everything we can to keep that. So I think we have a car that is very capable of staying in the front, and hopefully we'll have a shot to win.
Who do you think are the guys to beat tomorrow other than the 11?
I looked at the MWR cars were very good, and the 18 was very good. I thought the 5 was pretty good as well. So you're going to looking at the leaderboard and up top, I think all those guys in the top 10 are going to be very, very strong.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. You said yesterday if we can get our car good, we can beat Jimmy here. Could you have asked for a better scenario than to start on the pole?
Not really. I was, hoping for a top 10 start, especially with the speeds these guys were running during practice or during this qualifying session. I thought for sure yesterday that the pole would probably be in the 80s. And obviously my driving style this racetrack doesn't reward my type of driving style in the sense of you have to really attack this track really hard. For me to qualify on the pole on a track that doesn't reward my style, and obviously having a car as strong as it is, it's a good thing that Darian's as good as he is at setting up race cars. I just think that we've got things rolling right now, and we just taking it 1 week at a time.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. You talk about being in a good position, just as far as you won't have to obviously to pass a lot of cars to get in the lead. But my question is this better for you mentally, or is it better for you kind of strategically and performance based?
Both. I think 50-50 on that. I think that mentally, we had a decent practice yesterday, 2 decent practices, and if you qualified not as well as what we did, then you start to think, are we going to be heading right back to our old ways at this racetrack? But obviously, from the confidence standpoint, when you get the pole, it's a testament to the equipment that you have, from the cars to the motors to the guys that are putting these bodies on the cars. So I think that right now we've got everything rolling, and that part of it's given me a ton of confidence. But the strategic part of it is that the number 1 pit stall here is very, very crucial. We've seen in the past that track position is second to none here, and I think that we're going to need that to help with tuning our car, because a lot of times we've been caught in the middle of the pack, not able to tune our car because we didn't know what we had. So we know what we got now. We just got to execute and make sure we have a flawless day on Sunday.
All right. Okay, we'll go to Nate and then Reed. Go ahead, Nate. Nate, go ahead. Right behind you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Nate Ryan, USA Day. Denny, you talked a lot about how mentally it was going to be important to get in a better frame of mind coming in here. How much of your performance so far this weekend is attributable to that, or is it just that the car has just been a lot better?
I think that it's probably 75% car and 25% driver in that sense. I think that there's a lot of drivers out there that could be able to do what I do with the cars that Darian's been giving me these last few weeks. And so I'm going to give him pretty much all the credit and ride his back as long as it'll hold me.
All right, we'll go to Reed. Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. Denny, could you just explain a little bit more by what you mean about this place not meshing with your driving style? I mean, is it surface? Is it, what exactly do you mean there?
I typically don't run as strong on corner entry and use less brake. Is my MO on driving style at a lot of racetracks. Here, it just really rewards driving in hard, using the brake, then just matting it on exit. And I'm typically better with throttle management on exit. So I just think for whatever reason, between that and the concrete that I don't have that good of a feel for, I just think that it's tough for me to change the way I've been driving for 20 some years when I come to this track. So it's habits that I've tried to break. Like I said, I've broke down a lot of film over these last few days, and obviously try to get better at it. So that's the only way you can continue to stay on top in this sport, is to continue to evolve. You just can't rest on what you've been doing for forever, because these drivers are just too good.
And did you feel like you did set your qualifying line?
Yeah, I did. I changed a few things for the way I typically qualify, but really, honestly, I think it's as much car as anything.
All right, go back to Jim Utter.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Denny, obviously we've gone through a great part of the season, but how would you say your relationship with Darian has evolved over the course of the year? And even this late in the year, do you think there's still potential for you and him to develop even more?
It's every week is better, and every week's going to get better in that sense. And we handle the bad days really well. We're not hard on each other. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and I just think that it's taken this much time for me to be comfortable with telling him that the things that I need to tell him and figuring out what he wants to hear. And I just think that any driver-crew chief relationship, regardless of how good the chemistry is right off the bat, it takes time for it to really mesh well and hit its stride. And I feel like that we started to get that probably 5 to 6 weeks ago, figuring out exactly what each other needs. And really, for me, going into the future and years to come, we're going to have a jump start on next year, because we spent the first half of this year just learning each other, making mistakes on the radio and costing each other races and things like that, because we just didn't know each other that well. And now that's all getting fixed, and it's showing up on the racetrack.